It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Knoll. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that being said, let's jump right in. Okay, guys, so we've talked about Vanderpump Rules a couple of times, and everyone always asks me what my true experiences are being around the cast and filming, and I don't necessarily feel comfortable talking about that, but I've never had any bad experiences being around any of the production or anything like that, so there's really nothing to talk about. But what I want to talk about as far as the show is it seems like the cast members are dropping like flies. If you guys remember newbie from season 8, Dana Cathan, who I've worked with, and I think she's an absolute sweetheart. She's hilarious. She's funny. You don't need to cross her because she's just that girl. You know what I mean? Like she's a very well-rounded individual. She has confirmed that she is not coming back to Vanderpump Rules ahead of filming for season 9. So what does that mean exactly? Well, it means that we've lost another cast member. It means that we're down, how many is it now? Jax Taylor, Brittany Cartwright, Stassi Schroeder, Bo Clark, Kristen Doty, Brett Caprioni, I believe that's how you say his name, Max Boyens, Dana Cathan. That's a lot. That's 8 cast members now who are down, who we are missing from the show. Fans are wanting to know what exactly does that mean for the future of the show, and will there be a future for the show? Well, yes, I'm sure there will be, because Andy Cohen has talked about how excited he is to see what the dynamics look like for the cast members, especially after the pandemic and now that the restaurants are starting to open back up. He wants to know, how are they going to navigate this? They're obviously going to be at only 50% capacity because California is just now starting to open up. Tom Tom's not even open yet. Pump's open, Sir's open. So things are starting to get moving, but how does life look for the cast? And who would even be returning? Well, guys, that's a no-brainer. Tom Shorts and Katie Maloney will obviously be back, and they're pretty much OGs. They've been there since season 1. Obviously, Tom Sandoval will be back as well with his girlfriend, Ariana Madix. They're going to come back, and they still own Tom Tom, or at least a part of it. And not to mention, Sheena's about to give birth to her little baby, mini Sheena, anytime this week, I believe is what she was saying. So I'm sure she'll be back. And she just moved back to Los Angeles and to her new apartment, setting up her nursery with her man, Brock Davies. Not to mention, we still have Lala Kent. Lala Kent just gave birth to her little baby, Ocean, and her husband is now a famous producer, director. So we're going to have to see if they even want to continue to participate on the show. I know that we'll obviously be getting Lala on an episode of Overserved, so she still is in good standing. I think that, she might have outgrown the show at this point. We're going to have to wait and see. She's not the same woman as far as drinking and lashing out and kind of ripping everybody a new one. So what does this new mommy Lala look like? Is it even going to be entertaining? That's something that we'll have to see how that plays out on season 9. But moving forward, we also know that we still have James Kennedy, the white Kanye West, as he likes to call himself, self-proclaimed, and his girlfriend Raquel. They're still together. That's not really a huge dynamic cast to move forward with. They're really going to have to add a bunch of new cast members in order to keep the show afloat and really keep a heartbeat to the show, if anyone even cares anymore. As for Dana Cathan, she did confirm her exit, and she confirmed it on Instagram when one of her fans were asking her if she'd be returning. This is what she said. A fan asked, have you heard if Vanderpump Rules will be returning after all the craziness? And if it does, will you be a part of it? Also adding, I am hoping you can give your fans an update. Dana did reply, and she said, I'm not returning to the next season, but I'm excited to be a watcher. She's excited to view it, and she's still supporting the show, which is a good thing. That's the way that you should exit a show. You shouldn't exit by ripping everybody's name through the mud and ripping production and editing and the network. That's not the way to go about it. And I think whether it was her decision or not to continue filming, whatever the case is, she's doing it the right way. This is a very classy way of exiting, and I applaud her for that. Dana does have a project called Unfuckwithable. That's a mouthful. Unfuckwithable. That's her podcast that she created during the pandemic. And even though she hasn't had shows on lately, she said that it will be returning. So at least if you are going to be missing her on Vanderpump Rules, you know where you can find her. And I'm sure she's going to bring the funny just as much as she did to the show and the drama to her podcast. So at least we know where we can find her. Go check out Unfuckwithable. And with that, I still want to add a few more things. I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize the impact that the show can have on their lives, not just Vanderpump Rules, but also any sort of reality television. And Dana kind of learned this the hard way. To be fair, again, I didn't necessarily want to share any of my experiences about being around filming or any of the cast members, but I did have a conversation one time with my good friend John and also Dana when we were sitting there when she was working at TomTom and she was talking about potentially joining the show. When she was talking about it, she was really unsure because no one really knows how this is going to affect your future. Once you film a show like this, it lingers with you for the rest of your life. So if you're that villain, guess what? You're remembered as that villain. If you're the good guy, you're the good guy. You probably won't get picked up for another season, but you get to be the good guy. However you portray yourself on the show, it's like when you put something on the internet, it stays with you forever. And she actually saw this firsthand. This is what she said on Katie Maloney's podcast, You're Gonna Love Me. Dana said, I actually woke up the next day, a day after filming, with the worst anxiety of my life, and I had a corporate job, and I was getting hammered. She said I was full-blown anxiety as far as I was thinking someone was going to see it and I'm going to get fired. She also ended that with, which, spoiler alert, that ended up happening. Oof. Okay. Now that is unfortunate because as we know, the cast members, whether it's Vanderpump Rules or Real Housewives of Atlanta, any of the Bravo franchises, when you first come on the show, you don't get hefty paychecks, if any paychecks at all. So you're really putting yourself out there to film in hopes that you get picked up another season, that you become a fan favorite, that you get sort of brand ambassador deals, social media exposure. There's different avenues that you hope come out of being on the show. Just to be fair, a few of the cast members bought $1 million homes, $2 million homes, and even though one of them, Mr. Jax Taylor, has a $1.2 million tax lien on his $2 million home, the point is you can see how much the show can really help you. It can put you on the map, but it also can take you right off of it just as fast. Oof. Hold on, there's more. I want to talk about the fact that even Andy Cohen said that, you know, why are these cast members being put on trial for their political and cultural views? He said it's not like they're running for office. He also said it's not like they're Obama. He pointed out that they were servers and bartenders at SUR. Now, that's technically the case, and I just want to point out, what servers and bartenders do you guys know who own $2 million homes? You probably don't. And if you do, they must just really love what they do. I don't know why else they would be servers and bartenders if they did have $2 million homes, or unless they were on a show. So that kind of gives you the idea of anyone coming on to the show, what exactly that platform looks like and how appealing it could potentially be. Now, personally, I think that you need to start these shows as soon as they come out in their pilot season in order to really obtain longevity and make that paycheck that everyone else is making in order to have that kind of come up. And if you don't, you're probably going to be a one-season wonder. We don't know what's going to happen with Dana Cathan in the future, and I would love to steal her on my show one day just to talk about her experiences, talk about her podcast, and talk about what her future looks like. But there are a few other cast members that we want to know about too. Charlie, the one who has never had pasta in her life. Please. Also, Danica Dow. Danica I worked with in a nightclub, and I thought she was absolutely hilarious. But talk about Dana Cathan's podcast, Unfuckwithable. Danica is unfuckwithable, for sure. You don't mess with her, you don't piss her off, and if you do, she's going to pop off. So she might actually be good for the show, and we do know that she's still managing at SUR, so who knows what her future looks like as far as that. Again, guys, we do know that production of the show will begin filming sometime this summer, so I'm sure by the time it starts filming, we'll start figuring out a little bit more about who the cast members are, who the new cast members are, what the dynamic of the show is going to be like, how much the new Vanderpump babies will be featured, if at all, and how much everybody's grown since the pandemic, what everyone was up to, and what life after looks like. I think it could be interesting, just like Andy Cohen said, or it could be a flop. However, I think I've given you enough of my opinions without actually giving you my opinions. I want to know what you guys think, though. If you haven't already, go ahead, comment below. What do you guys think about Dana's exit? Do you feel like she was fired, or do you think she walked away because she doesn't necessarily see a future for herself on the show? I mean, she's a grown woman, she's an adult, and she might have made a conscious decision not to continue on down the reality television path. She could have, who knows? Or technically she could have been fired. We don't know. And unless she ever shares it with us, I'm sure we won't know. I also want to know what you guys think about bringing Danica or Charlie back. Do you guys even care? I mean, they were still pretty new, so maybe we weren't even that invested yet. Guys, so many questions. I need so many answers. Comment below and let me know. And if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Check us out every Monday and Wednesday. Thanks for watching Up and Adam.